It is saying out loud that it's recording. Okay. All right, guys. So today, the main discussion that I wanted to have is various strategies that I'm aware of in the options in the options game, and I thought it's very important for us to be aware of all the different strategies to make the best use of these volatile times. Because when there is volatility, meaning when price change is huge, the premiums will be very expensive, be it for the call side or for the put side. So being aware of various strategies would definitely help us to make even more money. And so without further ado, let's get started. So here I have pulled up Amazon chart. So just as an example, as many of you are aware, and we are currently trading at 3,200, right? And if we wanted to buy,
Sampath, I can't see your screen.
you cannot. Thanks for telling. How about now? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes. Yeah, it's good now.
Okay, great. So here I have a demo account pulled up. So I kept the Amazon ticker symbol, and let's say if the price were to go up towards the resistance, we usually tend to buy calls, and if we think the price would go down, we'll try to buy puts. I think those two things I think you guys are aware of, right? So let's get into different strategies now, which combines these calls and puts, or a combination of different legs, and so on. Let me go to analyze. And so this single call option for this particular 3470 strike price, as you can see the P&L curve, like profit to loss curve, like when Amazon starts to move up, the option price also would move up. When for this particular naked call option, the net debit is around $10, meaning our break even would be the 3470 plus $10, and that's why you're seeing this red mark here, 3480 being the break even. What break even is essentially on the day of expiration for this particular option. If stock stays at 3480, the option price would still remain the same. If it is below that price, then the option price would be almost negative, or basically it will lose value. And if it is, so the current strike price for the call option is 3470, and that is why we have a break even as 3480 something, meaning the strike price plus the amount that we paid would be the break even value on the day of expiration. We don't necessarily need to hold the call option to make use of it, meaning to gain some money. We can always sell ahead also, depending on the price action and the option price. Like if it doubles, I usually try to sell half and then probably put the stop loss at break even for the remaining. So that's a naked call option. In a similar manner, it's for the put option also. So I will discuss all the call strategies, and puts would be very identical. Any questions so far on a single call option? If not, then let me go to the vertical. So vertical is essentially a combination of the naked call and also a sell call against it to reduce our cost. Let's say, for example, let me go back to the chart again. Let's say, for example, when price starts to bounce from this support level, let's say we have let's say the price was trading around 2,800, and we know this is a strong support area, and price would try to bounce. So we can either take the naked calls for certain strike prices and expiry, or we can, because Amazon is a pretty expensive stock, if you still want to play it, you can do a call debit spread, also called as call vertical, where you first buy one particular strike price and then you would sell another strike price just above it to reduce your net cost. Let's say, for example, if price is trading around 28.86 and you buy 3,000 strike price calls or 3,100 strike price calls, let's say, right? When it's trading here, you buy 3,100 strike price because that would be the next target. But then the cost for that particular strike price would be very expensive. And so what you do, you buy this 3,100 strike price, and then you sell probably like 3,120, or depending on the investment that you want to make, you can choose appropriately this next leg to sell against your against your first leg. Like for example, here in this analyze tab, I have chosen just a $5 spread, meaning I have the first leg as a buy, which you see here as a +1. That is my first leg. And then the second leg for this vertical is a sell, meaning you're selling a call option against your first leg. So it's sort of like first you will buy one and the next one you sell against it, so that your net cost is only the difference between the premium of these two. So the 3,470 strike price call option is around $10. But if you were to play it as a spread, which is called vertical, of $5 range, you're paying only 43 cents. Why 43 cents is because if I were to just choose 3,475 strike price, let's see how much that option price is. 3,475. Ouch. Where is it? 3,475. Okay, here. If I were to just buy 3,475, it's around $10.25 also. And B. Wait a second. Okay. So usually what happens is when you are purchasing a call debit spread, you pay only the difference of that premium. So here in this case, for a $5 spread, you are getting, you need to pay only like 43 cents, which is pretty nice, risk to reward wise. You're still playing that big stock Amazon, and you can make use of that bounce from this area towards the 3,100. Or the strike price that I have chosen is just for reference, but you could, based on the price action and where the price is traded, you could appropriately change the strike prices. But you guys got an idea what the difference between naked call and a spread. Spread is essentially to reduce your net cost, and so the maximum gains would also be capped to the difference of the strike prices. And that is why you see this PNL curve sort of like a zigzag. That's because the difference of these strike prices is how much? $5. So your break even would be roughly 3,470 plus the debit you're paying. That's when you recover your capital on the day of expiration. You guys get what I'm saying? So the first strike price is 3,470 plus 43 cents. So the break even would be around 3,475.5. Sorry, 3,470.5. There should be something that shows the actual break-even value here. I can't see it somehow. So when stock starts to bounce, this option price would also be increasing, but not as much as the naked call. But for a big stock like Amazon, I would suggest to buy call vertical meaning the call debit spread, because it's much less risk to reward wise. So your maximum reward is $5, and for $5 of max reward, you're paying only 1/10 of it, which is about 50 cents, which is decent, isn't it? So you can buy a bunch of these verticals for the same cost of a single call. Any questions so far? Hello, are you guys able to hear me?
Yeah, no questions for me.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions about the spread? And this is all to the buy side, meaning we are actually paying money to purchase the call options. And if you want to be a seller, I will discuss after this different strategies. Then the back ratio is like you sell one call that is like a particular strike price for, and then you buy farther out strike price, like a couple of them, to reduce your cost of your first leg. Let's say, for example, you're choosing a strike price 3,400, which would be very expensive, right? So what you do is you are basically selling that option. Okay, let's do this in this manner. So the back ratio is something like, okay, again, let's say the same scenario. Let's say price is bouncing around this support level, and you know that, let's say, for example, by this expiration, it will not reach 3,400. Okay, so what you do is you sell that particular strike price call option, because you know that it will not reach there with a higher probability. And by the time of expiration, if the price does not reach that particular price, the option that you sold, you get to keep all the premium. And the longer and the farther call option that you are buying 2 times would also go to 0, but let me see, the expiration is the same. So for back ratio, it's like you choose the same expiration, but the cost would be reduced because you are selling a closer strike price, which would be expensive. It's sort of like a call debit spread itself, but it's like you sell the sooner strike price, then you buy the farther out. Two of them. Meaning, if you sell, okay, let me change the color of this, that way it will be easier to explain. Just 1 second. Okay. So again, let's say the price is trading around here, and you take for this particular expiration date, let's say March 19th, you sell this particular strike price, the one that is closer, and then you buy the farther strike price two times. It's like a call credit spread plus one more call that is far out of the money. So the use of this particular strategy is that, let me show you the PNL curve, then you would know. Like when we are confident that the price does not go beyond the first leg, this strategy would be useful if the price does not go beyond the first sell leg that we are doing here in this back ratio. Because when price starts to move up, the farther out strike price would appreciate more than the closer strike price. Always, if you have noticed that the farther out strike price options double, triples very easily than closer strike price. And so you would make use of a volatile price movement, like to capture credit from the sell leg and then even the buy legs, the 2 times, would also make money parallelly. The first one would deteriorate, meaning the first one will gain in value when stock move towards that particular strike price, but then the farther out strike price will increase even faster. So you need to make sure that the closer strike price, the price would not reach there. Any question about back ratio so far? Is it confusing?
No.
Okay.
When would you do back ratios though?
Essentially to capture the volatile price action. Let's say, for example, here, if price starts to move fast towards that strike price, you could buy naked calls, or to reduce your cost, you can play back ratio.
Okay.
It's like a call debit spread itself, but a different kind. Then comes the call calendar. So call calendar is nothing but you sell one particular, like sooner expiry strike price, and then you buy farther out strike price. Like for example, here I am selling 34.70 strike price for June 4th, but then I'm also buying same strike price 34.70 for June 18th. And if you look at the P&L curve, we would get maximum gain if on the day of the expiration, this sell call that we did, the -1 expires
ತಲೆನೋವು ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ.
to 0.
ನಮ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡೋ ತರದಾದ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅದು?
ಇವಾಗ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದಿದೆ ನೋಡ,
Hey, Pradeep,
ಅದನ್ನ ತೆಗಿಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ.
Okay.
Hey, sorry, Sampath.
No problem. No problem. Did you have a question?
No, sorry. No.
Okay.
Please continue.
Okay. So call calendar is nothing but you sell sooner expiry strike price and you buy farther out. How we can make use of this strategy is, let's say, again, taking the same scenario, when we know that price will not reach a certain strike price by this certain expiry, we can sell that particular strike price. Sell that particular strike price for sooner expiry and then buy the farther out, which will so the sell premium, you get to keep it, and the buy premium will still be in the game, and so you could write it out. Or you can, if you have like really far out strike price, far out expiry, let's say 1 year apart or few months apart, you can keep selling the option against it every single week if it expires to 0, and thereby you can keep making money. You guys got what I'm saying? Call calendar is nothing but you sell a sooner expiry strike price, but you buy the further expiry against it. So the net cost of that trade, if you notice, the call calendar, it's turning out about about $8. But if you were to buy just the 34.70 call, that's around $10. So you are subsidizing your net cost by selling another option, which is having the same strike price but sooner expiry. Because the Amazon premiums are very juicy, you can make consistent money every week using this calendar strategy if you buy like 3,300 call option. Like currently price is trading around 3,200, right? But then if you sell like 3,300 call, you let's say, for example, let's check if I were to create a call calendar now. Let me see how much it will get, how much it will cost. So 3,300 call for this week expiry is around $10. So if you sell this option, you will get around, sorry, it's actually the last price. I don't have the last price here, but it's roughly about 8.8, meaning you will get a credit of $800. But if you were to sell it naked call, you need to have a lot of capital in your account, which is 3,300 times 100. That's how much you need to have in your account to sell this option. But with call calendar, you don't need to have that, because, so let me create buy, then calendar. It will auto populate me the expiries also, which I can change later on. So I'm selling this current week expiry. Okay, it says only 10 minutes left. Okay, I have to, you guys can end drop and rejoin it when it's about to disconnect in 8 minutes. So in this call calendar strategy, you are selling sooner expiry ones and buying a farther expiry one for the same strike price. I can even go farther out, like August or July, if I'm confident that the stock will definitely go up after this week or in a few months. So every week you can keep selling this 3,300 call option against your long call. The long call acts like you're holding, say, shares. And so every week you're doing sort of like a covered call, which I'll be covering in the little bit later also. So you can make consistent weekly income through using this calendar strategy. Okay, after calendar, it's a similar strategy called diagonal. Diagonal is like you sell the sooner expiry one, but for a different strike price. Like, for example,
so Sampath, for calendar, so when the first leg about to expire, so we have to close the other one, right? Otherwise,
no need to close the farther out leg. You can still remain in the game. Let's say if this Amazon goes in the money, then what you can do is you can roll it. Roll means you buy it back at whatever price that is. The sell leg, whatever you sold, you can buy it back at whatever price at that time, and you can sell the next week one for the same strike price. So for the definitely the next week option would be expensive than the current week, right? So you would be getting overall credit. You're not paying anything out of pocket. You can, if you place both buyback and also the selling for next week in the same order, it will not ask you any money to pay. In fact, it will give you more credit. You got what I mean?
Yeah.
Great. So calendar is exactly the same strategy as, diagonal is same strategy as calendar, but the strike prices are different. It's sort of like it's sort of like, how can I tell? You sell a different strike prices, not exactly the same. Let me see how to put a vertical line here. Just 1 second. Is there a way to put a vertical line? Maybe just a trend line. Okay. Okay. Let me change the color of this. So this is what a sell leg, and then edit properties. This would be buy leg. Okay, so these two lines that you see, this is just like a diagonal, meaning you sell a strike price that is expiring sooner. Think that we are here, where price is bouncing. If you sell this particular strike price that is expiring sooner, and then you buy a farther out strike price and also a different expiry. That's called a diagonal. It's sort of like a diagonal line, right? That's why it's called a diagonal. If it is the same strike price, then it's called a call calendar. You guys got what I'm saying? And that is why in the analyze tab, you can see that this expiry is different and also strike price also different. So you are selling for 34.70 for June 18th, but you're buying 34.75 for the following week. So this expiry, you can change it to however far you would like. It's not necessary that it has to be 1 week out or 1 month out. This strategy is also similar to Cal Calendar. So depending on the cost of the trade, you can choose which strike price you want to sell. This is also a consistent income generating strategy. Any questions so far? If not, we'll move to the next one called straddle. So straddle is like buying a call and also put. And currently in the current day scenario, like on Friday, the price closed at around 3,200. And as you can see here, the price is close to the support. It's like in between the support and resistance levels. So it can go either ways, right? That's when we usually take straddles, meaning you buy a call and also a put. But the cost of the trade would be very expensive. As you can see, the cost of the trade is currently 287, which is a lot, right? This is not very useful for big stocks because you end up paying a lot of premium. Let's say, for example, if it's a small stock like Ford or like a stock under $10, the premium would not be very expensive for calls and puts. So you can go very close to the money, near the money, and buy call and also put if the move is going to be expected wild. This strategy would be useful when the price is really fast. It moves fast either to the upside or to the downside. But if it doesn't move fast, then this straddle is not so good strategy. Let's say on everybody knows that there is a Friday rally on SPY, right? Usually at the end of the day. And on the end of the day, the straddle would not be so expensive. So you can buy one straddle and see how it goes, because usually at the end like last 1 hour or 30 minutes, the price action is so fast that it moves unidirectional. And if you're not aware of which direction, straddle is a good one, where you buy a call. As you can see here, you're buying a call and also a put for the same strike price. So that's straddle, and comes the strangle. So strangle is nothing but same as a straddle, but different strike prices. Like you buy call option for one particular strike price and a put option for a different strike price. Like for example, here I'm buying a 34.70 call and also buying a 34.65 put. Okay, guys, I think we can maybe stop here and then rejoin the meeting because it's only 2 minutes left. I don't want to get disconnected abruptly. Or shall we wait until this session is ended?
It's the same link?
Yeah, same link.
Oh,
Yeah, we can join back, Sampath.
Okay.
We can leave now and join back.
Okay.